Hidden inside prison walls in a place built for punishment, a different kind of empire was born. Its name, Barrio Azteca. What began as a small group of inmates protecting themselves in the late 1980s would grow into one of the most feared and disciplined criminal networks straddling the US-Mexico border. Today, its reach extends far beyond prison gates, into neighborhoods, cities, and across international lines. But what happens when a prison-born brotherhood steps out of the shadows and into a global drug war? And could a single order, misjudged and misdirected, change the course of that war forever? If you believe the hidden worlds inside our prison system deserve to be uncovered, not glorified, then stay with us. Like this video, subscribe, and share it so more people can see what really happens beyond the walls. To understand Barrio Azteca, imagine the El Paso Juarez border at night. City lights flicker softly on both sides of the Rio Grande, a ribbon of water winding quietly through two worlds. For many, it's a line of separation. But for those who know its hidden paths, it's less a barrier than a bridge. Inside the walls of Texas prisons in the 1980s, inmates from El Paso found themselves isolated, scattered, often outnumbered, and vulnerable to violence from larger established prison gangs. Geography here wasn't just a fact, it was fate. What choice did they have? To band together or to face extinction? They chose unity, but not just any unity. Ranks were carved out. Codes became law. Loyalty was more than allegiance. It was currency and survival itself. That loyalty didn't stop at the prison gates. It followed them back into the streets and neighborhoods where familiar faces waited and alliances continued in shadowed corners. Was this solidarity, a shield for the vulnerable? Or was it the foundation of an empire built on silence and blood? Life inside was harsh and unforgiving. Barrio Azteca operated with the precision of a military unit. Betrayal? Unthinkable. Advancement? A test of loyalty often sealed with deeds the outside world could scarcely imagine. By the early 2000s, this was no longer a prison gang protecting its own. It was a growing force, hand in hand with the Juarez cartel. This wasn't just about money, it was control over trade routes, over neighborhoods, over the steady flow of people, weapons, and contraband. But what happens when brotherhood becomes domination? Can survival turn into ruthless conquest without breaking the bonds that held it together? Power breeds conflict. By the late 2000s, the Juarez cartel was locked in a brutal war with the rival Sinaloa cartel. Barrio Azteca became the cartel's enforcers, tasked with eliminating rivals and defending turf. A chilling fact: one unit leader demanded a daily quota, multiple hits every single day. How does a system handle such unrelenting violence without fracturing? Or does it invite mistakes and disaster? In 2010, a fateful order was issued. Target a white SUV linked to enemies, but intelligence failed. Inside that vehicle were not cartel members. They were US consulate employees and their families. The attack ended lives, including that of a pregnant woman. Within moments, a local gang war spiraled into an international incident. The United States could no longer watch silently from the sidelines. What kept Barrio Azteca strong through it all? Structure, discipline, a hierarchy where every member, from the newest recruit to the highest coordinator, knew their place and their duty. Every financial transaction was tracked meticulously. Loyalty was recorded and enforced. Inside prison walls, commands flowed swiftly down the chain, orders given and obeyed without question. One former inmate recalled how a simple folded note passed through multiple hands, morphing from paper to action in mere hours. Had this organization become more than a gang? Had it transformed into a shadow government, operating in cells, in codes, and in silence, across two nations? For many, joining was a choice born of necessity. Behind bars, protection could mean life or death. New members, known as ESCA, earned trust step by step, carrying messages, observing, proving themselves. But loyalty came with an unbearable cost. One young recruit, call him Luis, joined at 19, seeking safety in the chaos. His first task was simple: confront a man who'd broken a rule. The consequence? The man was brutalized, and Luis carried the weight of that night forever. How does a brotherhood built on protection demand acts that strip away humanity? And when does loyalty become imprisonment itself? After the 2010 tragedy, the FBI and Mexican authorities united in a rare collaboration. Together, they broke encrypted radio communications, infiltrated networks, and secured testimony from insiders, risking everything. High-ranking Barrio Azteca leaders faced trials in U.S. federal courts, sentences stretching into decades or life behind bars. Yet even as leaders fell, the organization adapted. New members rose from the same prison yards where it all began. The cycle continued. If an empire can rise from confinement, can it ever truly be dismantled? Barrio Azteca's story is more than crime and punishment. It's a profound example of how unity bred from survival can thrive in chaos and order. But beyond control and violence lies a question we rarely ask. Can a system designed for punishment also offer redemption? Can those forged in fire find a way back to society? When a man's past is written in prison walls, who decides if he deserves a second chance? And how do communities prepare to welcome or fear those returning from such shadows? The story of Barrio Azteca is unfinished. Its roots run deep, its methods continue to evolve, and its presence challenges the very limits of law and order. If an empire can be born behind bars, what does that say about the world beyond? And when those walls release the people they help shape, what follows them into the streets? As viewers, as citizens, we must ask, are we ready to confront the shadow networks hiding in plain sight? Are we willing to rethink punishment and open the door to true rehabilitation? Because somewhere between silence and survival lies a deeper truth, one that may hold the key to breaking cycles of violence and building hope from the forgotten. If you believe stories like this should be told, not to glorify, but to understand, stay with us. And if you feel that pull to keep searching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a step in our journey to uncover what still hides on this earth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.